Everybody, welcome back with the Purplatypus is the name, and today we're going to look at some gacha revenue. I'm using App Magic. Why am I using App Magic? Well, the old site that I used to use is gone, and App Magic, I just kind of like their formatting, how they look. You can't really look at the past all that well, but I don't think you could on Sensor Tower that much either, but that doesn't matter. Point is, we're going to look over a couple games that I'm just kind of interested in, including sort of Convallaria, Girls Frontline 2. I'm also going to check out Octopath COTC, and I'm kind of interested in like Honkai Star Rail. We're just gonna take a look at a couple of them, and we're just gonna listen to some of this dorm music while we do. So first thing, I want to check my last month's video. We can see sort of Convallaria did under $1 million, or roughly $1 million, in basically the version of the game that everyone plays, right? So we're gonna lead off with that. We're gonna see how it's kind of come a month later. Now, the thing I want to highlight here is Japan 38% and United States 22%. But honestly, if we look, we come over here, I could zoom in a bit, it's fine. They actually are in the same revenue. Actually, I could zoom in like this, right? That should help. Yeah. So they actually stabilized. So sort of Convallaria is in a great spot, actually. I was pretty pessimistic. I was a bit of a doomer last month after I saw how much it dropped again. However, it seems like the people that are going to spend money on it are, unless, because they didn't really release anything crazy. They didn't release content, which is good. But there was nothing like insane this month. So worth noting, Japan's spending actually went up while the United States went down. They basically, this is for my last month's video. So the United States was at 22%, Japan was at 38%. And so Japan is about half of all of the revenue of the game. And the United States is about, this is 40%, but it's like around $500,000, around $1 million. So like, but still like around little under 20% is going to be the United States. So it is doing good, honestly. I mean, again, this isn't like ideal, but this is still very solid, especially for this kind of IP. The issue was for me, not how much it was making, it was the trajectory of how it was making it, where it was like 10 million, or like, I think it might have been as much as 10 million, but it was like 10, 5, 2, 1. It was like half. And so that was a little concerning. However, it seems like it might actually stabilize here. Can we take a look at its lifetime? I mean, 20 million in its lifetime. Most of it's actually from China, interestingly enough. But China is apparently not playing that game anymore. I don't know. No, okay, there it is, but not very much. But interesting there. Now, what I'm more interested in actually this month, but this is still, I haven't made any videos on sort of Convallaria. I'm not sure if I'm going to, but I am still interested. I still like the game a lot, actually. So Girls Frontline 2. Now, this is actually what's kind of interesting, is this doesn't look particularly good for a launch month. $2 million for a launch month is actually not very much, and it's 81% United States. However, there are a couple different basically regions, right? So we are in the United States under Dark Winter, and so 2 million for a launch month isn't particularly good, actually. But this is still a pretty small portion. Like if you're comparing that, right, 200,000, so it's about 10x what the United States is spending in sort of Convallaria, which is pretty good. So there's about 10 times more spending in the United States on Girls Frontline 2 as opposed to sort of Convallaria. However, the overall spending seems like it's bad, but this is a game that is divided up into multiple developers. So if we come over here to the other one, there is actually another 10 million here in South Korea and Japan. So it's actually, South Korea is at 5 million roughly, and Japan's at 5 million roughly. And then these are going to be making up this is probably 9 million between the two of them. And this is kind of making up the difference there. Over 1 million downloads, 200,000 downloads. Again, it's actually interesting. 55% of the downloads were in the United States, but 80% of the spending was in the United States. Whereas kind of, yeah, you could just see like the countries that like to spend a lot of money on these kinds of games are overrepresented. And I think we're actually with Indonesia, right? Yeah, Indonesia has one of the highest player bases of free-to-play players that I've seen based off my personal experience. And a lot of times when I'm making gacha content, people from Indonesia will watch my content for free-to-play stuff. Or a lot of the really, really talented free-to-play players I know just happen to be from Indonesia. So yeah, even though they're 23% of the overall downloads, so 1 in 4, they're only 6% of the spending. Not even 6%, but it makes sense also, right? It just like the currency conversion is probably brutal, right? So about a little under 50,000 from Indonesia, while that being almost half of the thing. But yeah, the United overall, honestly, I think this is like just a huge success. Even though 2 million doesn't look that great, I actually think for the United States for a game like this is pretty good. And I think honestly, 10 million here, 2 million here, 12 million between the two versions of the game. I'm pretty optimistic about that, but again, we'll see. And so next month, I think sort of Convallaria kind of taught me, because I used to not really follow that much. So it's probably going to go down to, my guess is going to be 5 million, basically half, right? 1 million here, 5 million here. And so if the game kind of keeps following that direction, I'm actually not going to be as down and out as I was with sort of Convallaria dropping for 4 months. So yeah, do expect a pretty big drop next month, but as long as like the goal is I want to see the downloads stay relatively high. You know, ideally, because 20,000 is fine, but we want a lot of new players in the game always. So hopefully this game has good ways to bring in new players. But besides that, let's take a look at something like Honkai Star Rail, just so we could be like, okay, here's a really big game. 20 million just in this is probably the only version. It's funny, the United States is actually one of the lower spenders, but still 5 million. Japan 10 million. Japan, like, so I don't know how these numbers all add up, but point is, I mean, it says under 10 million, right? So I understand. But under 20 million, but probably around that is kind of insane, man. What about Deep Space? What's it called? It's called Love and Deep Space. Again, this is Honkai Star Rail money. This thing is making some serious bucks right now. This is actually kind of a low month for it too. It's dropped a little bit after its huge success of, it had like, I think it was its anniversary or something. And HSR, I mean, it's still just chugging along. This is one of the most successful games of all time. I think that this is officially supplanted Genshin Impact. Let's take a look. Let's see if this is beaten Genshin Impact. It's hard to say. I don't actually know, but Japan and China both like Honkai Star Rail a lot, although China has more spending in Honkai Star Rail. So this game is still just insanely popular. I really fell out of this game. I used to really like it, and then I just did not like the Penacony stuff at all. I thought the first town, the first whole planet was really good. What the heck is it called? I don't remember what it's called, but you know, the ice planet where it's steel, and you get Bronya. What the Jaiko? I can't remember right now. It's not important, but I love the initial story of Honkai Star Rail so much. It was just so enjoyable, and then it just kind of like, I didn't really like the boat thing you went on. I didn't really like Penacony. I just thought the whole story kind of sucked after the initial launch of the game. But one thing I'm also really interested about, I'm interested in Octopath Traveler COTC. So you can see here NetEase. Let's open that one, and let's open this one. So I don't think NetEase has started it yet, right? This says that it, okay, maybe they do own it in China. Okay, because there's no United States here, right? So China, that's actually a lot of revenue in the last 30 days. Octopath Traveler COTC. I mean, if you take a look here, so Square Enix is selling this game to, it's 96% in Japan, only under $5,000 in the US. Holy crap, that game is dead here. But look how popular it is. Like, this was my big gacha game that I played before, I don't know, the most recent stuff. It was one of the things that made my channel grow the most, and I love this game. But man, no spending in the United States. But what's good is Square Enix is actually selling it to NetEase. So I'm hoping that they will be able to really produce some good content for their much more successful version of the game. And they will be able to bring this spending up. I'm hoping that Octopath Traveler has still a really long life ahead of it. And it's a game that once it's actually transferred over to NetEase, I am considering downloading again myself and giving it another go. Maybe making a couple videos, seeing how things are basically when they switch over. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Those are the games that I'm personally interested in. Girls Frontline 2, I think, is a big success. $10 million is good. $12 million is even better, roughly. And sort of Convallaria, you know what? I'll eat my words. I think it's doing great right now. It is at a very respectable amount of income. and it's just seems to be in a healthy spot. So it might be a game that I will pick up again, and I still want to make content and stuff for it. I got a little, like, to be completely honest, I got a little butt hurt, or maybe it's not the most elegant way of putting it. I got my feelings hurt a little bit when they started making a content creator program and they didn't invite me, or Hockey. Me and Hockey were making daily videos, multiple videos a day in his case sometimes, and at least one video a day for me. And they excluded us from their new secret whatever content creator program. And so it just kind of felt bad. It kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. And so I just didn't feel like covering the game, but that might be a little selfish, petty reason to not cover the game. So I am thinking about coming back and making more content for it. I still have it downloaded. And there's so much fun to be had in that game when they add some good levels of content. But Girls Frontline 2 is also a crazy amount of fun. And so I'm still kind of trying to decide how I want to take the channel. The channel's been kind of down in this last couple weeks here. I've just not been taking it too seriously. I've just been having some fun playing Path of Exile 2, playing a couple gachas, but I haven't been too serious about the videos. So I am hoping to really kind of get back into it, make some high quality videos again, and really dedicate more time. But I have to kind of decide which direction I want to go. Do I want to keep playing Girls Frontline, or do I want to try sort of Convallaria, or try to do both? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that's all for today, guys. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, you know, YouTube stuff. But yeah, anyway, much love. Purplatypus. I'll see you on the flip-flops. Bye. On the rise, watch the views go.